وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
With a global population of 1.5 billion people, Sunnis make up roughly 89 to 90% of the total Muslim population globally. The Ottoman Empire had been the biggest Sunni empire in the world for 6 centuries, with a population of 18.5 million, 15 million of those being Muslims.
Sunnis define themselves in terms of practical conformity to Islamic law as agreed by the wider Islamic community to be the authentic practice of the Prophet, who is believed to have led the perfect life.
The Sunnis are named Sunnis because they believe themselves to be the followers of the Sunnah, which is a custom or tradition of the Prophet. And there is so much more to explore in the world of Sunni Islam. Hey everyone, my name is Leroy Kenton and welcome to FTD Facts. This is a channel where we explore the different countries, cultures, and people from all around the world. And we're diving into the world of Sunni Islam. If this is your first time here at FTD Facts, you want to hit that subscribe button as well as that bell notification so you'll be notified of more videos like this. And don't forget to leave a like on this video if you just love learning. Okay, so I just want to jump in right now and expand a little bit more about the term Sunni. The term Sunni refers to those who do not support Ali's leadership. And it's also a term that comes from the Arabic phrase al al-Sunnah wal al-Jama'ah. And that means the people of the Prophet's way and community. While there are many different branches of Islam, the Sunnis make up the largest subdivision, and also Shia make up the second largest subdivision of Islam. Sunnis have historical roots in the majority group who followed Abu Bakr instead of the Prophet Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law Ali. So just to make it clear again, Sunnis are historically rooted in the group that went with Abu Bakr, and Shias are rooted in the group that followed Ali. Now this major division happened just after the passing of the Prophet Muhammad in the year 632 CE. Muslims were faced with a question. Alright, so Prophet Muhammad is gone. Now who's gonna take up the mantle? Who's gonna succeed him as our spiritual leader as well as our political leader? Now this whole situation came up because the Prophet Muhammad, he had no living male heirs, and it was never really clear for Muslims who Muhammad wanted his successor to be. And the group now called Sunnis took it upon themselves to designate Abu Bakr as the successor of Muhammad. Sunnis base their religion on the Quran as well as the Sunnah, and this is understood by the majority of the Muslim community under the structure of 4 schools of thought. And these 4 Sunni schools of thoughts, or madhahib, are called the Hanafi, the Maliki, the Shafi'i, and the Hanbali. And oftentimes these 4 schools of thought are seen as 4 different branches of Islam, but they're really not. Rather, you can simply just call them branches of Sunni Islam, or you could just stick with schools of thought. Nevertheless, all branches of Sunni Islam believe in the 6 principal articles of faith known as the 6 pillars of Iman. And these 6 major beliefs are the belief in God, Allah, the belief in the angels, the belief in the holy books sent to the prophets, including the Torah that was revealed to the prophet Moses, as well as the New Testament that came through the prophet Jesus, as well as the Quran that was revealed through the prophet Muhammad. The next principle of faith is a belief in all prophets sent by God. And these prophets include Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Jesus, and of course Muhammad. Now what makes Muslims distinct is that although they believe in all the different prophets of Christianity, they do not believe that Jesus was the Son of God. The 5th article of faith is the belief in the day of judgment and life after you pass away. And then finally, the belief in the decree of God, or the Qadar. When you break it down, this really means that God is all powerful and nothing can happen without his permission. However, God has given every single human being free will, the freedom to choose whether he wants to do good deeds or evil deeds. And in the end, everybody's gonna be judged for the deeds that they did in life. Now, just to make it clear, these 6 principal articles of faith are completely different from the 5 pillars of Islam. Now, I'm not going to go through the 5 pillars in this episode, but you can find them in one of our other videos about Islam. We have a playlist of videos that we did about Islam. You can find that playlist in the card section of this video. You can find a link to it down below in the video description, as well as I'll also have a link to it at the end of this episode. But in that, we explore a lot more about the 5 pillars of Islam, and we explore some of the other branches of Islam as well. So I highly recommend that you check it out if you want to learn more about Muslims and the world of Islam in general. So moving on now, I want to talk about the main difference between Shia Muslims and Sunni Muslims. One of the major religious differences is the Mahdi, and that's the Arabic word that means guided one. Both Sunnis and Shias, they believe that the Mahdi is the sole ruler of the Islamic community. However, Sunnis believe that the Mahdi has not yet been born and they're waiting for his arrival. The Shias, on the other hand, believe that the Mahdi was born in 869 AD and is going to be returning to Earth when Allah issues the order for him to return. Now, when we take a closer look at who the Mahdi actually is in the world of Islam, the Mahdi is the Redeemer of Islam who is going to be appearing to rule for 5, 7, 9, or 19 years before the Day of Judgment, and is going to be erasing evil from the face of the earth. Now, there's one thing to know, that there's no direct reference to the Mahdi in the Quran. It's only found in the Hadith. And in Islam, the Hadith is a record of the words and the actions and approvals of the Prophet Muhammad. The Hadith is seen as a source of moral law and offers guidance in the Islamic community, and it's seen second to the Quran. In this episode, I mentioned several different sources that Muslims use as guidance in their religion: the Sunnah, the Hadith, and the Quran. But what's the difference between the three of them? Hadith is the tradition about the words and the deeds of the Prophet Muhammad. The Quran is a revelation of God that he delivered to the Prophet, and the words of the Quran are infallible. However, it contains a lot of compressed information. Couldn't fit all of that in one book. And then there's the Sunnah, which is a very detailed explanation of the everyday application of the principles that the Quran establishes. And this all comes from one of the Hadith. There are several different Hadith, and one of the quotes that Muslims use is a quote from the Prophet Muhammad, and that quote is, "I have left among you two matters by holding fast to which you shall never be misguided: the book of God and my Sunnah."
The Sunnah is embodied in the Hadith, sayings transmitted by the Prophet's followers and interpreted by jurists who then codify it in Sharia, the way of life that guides Muslims in all aspects of their daily living. Sunni Muslims are very strict adherents to the way of life as prescribed in Sharia law, which is in turn defined by authorized lawmakers.
Both Sunnis and Shia Muslims accept the Hadith of the two weighty things. In this Hadith, Muhammad refers to the Quran as well as the Al-Bayt, which means the people of the house, as being the two weighty things. Although this Hadith is accepted by the Sunnis and the Shias, they don't agree on the wording used in it. And the differences in the wording affect how it's interpreted. So the Shias use the Hadith of the two weighty things to prove their claim that yes, Muhammad in fact wanted his successor to be from his own family. And that comes from the phrase people of the house, which is interpreted to be Muhammad's family. However, Sunnis don't actually believe in that interpretation. They don't believe that Muhammad meant somebody of his immediate household. Another disagreement that Sunnis and Shia Muslims have is what actually makes up the Sunnah. The Sunnis define the Sunnah as the sayings and deeds of Muhammad, and some things inside of it are implied approvals of Muhammad, but yes, this is considered as authentic.
And Sunnis are those who follow the code of behavior established by Muhammad, Allah's final prophet and founder of Islam, as a complement to the teachings of the Quran.
So those are the facts that I have for you in this episode of Sunni Islam. They make up the second largest religious group in the entire world. And even with the division and the differences between the Shias as well as the other branches of Islam, Islam still continues to grow fast. It's the fastest growing religion in the world. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments about anything that I talked about in this episode. Leave your comments down below, and feel free to share your comments so that we can all expand our knowledge and learn. You don't have to always push back on what's being said. You can really just share your thoughts, your comments, and your points of view just to actually share. Thanks guys for tuning into FTD Facts. It's always great bringing you videos like this, and I can't wait to see you in another episode. Until next time, my name is Leroy Kenton. You can find me on social media. Those links are below in this video description, and I'll see you real soon. For all of you who made it to the end of this episode, here's our playlist on videos that we did about Islam, where you can expand your knowledge on Muslims and the whole Islamic world. We also have videos on the different countries and cultures from all around the world, so tune in each and every single week for more videos here on FTD Facts.